Hello everybody, my name is Adam. Initially I wanted to ask if I should speak English or Czech, but then I saw my friend Jason over there, so the complete presentation will be in English, so we can have a discussion in Czech later on. This presentation will take just a couple of minutes, and I want to introduce a new project that I'm working on currently and that it's taking shape at the moment. It concerns Bureaucrats, as you guessed from the name of the presentation, and I'm here to introduce it to you and ask you for help if you are interested in it. Now, before I start, the first question that I had when I was preparing this presentation was, is anyone here working for the government or for any public institution or anything like that?
I pay taxes, does it count?
Shame on you.
I work every day for government.
The definition is actually the opposite, that you are getting some money from the government.
Then no.
No. I can see like two or three people over there. I'm one of them. I'm a bureaucrat and I'm proud of it. I will tell you why in a moment. But I never expected that I will end up working for a university, which is my employer right now. And the story is very simple. About a year ago, we decided to write the first book on service design in the Czech Republic. We wanted to bring the idea of customer experience to the Czech companies and Czech managers and Czech freelancers, for that sake. And so we wrote a prototype last year during the summer, a group of 5 people, and we introduced it at one of the conferences here. And 6 months later, the book was really published. We got lots of feedback and lots of stories about how services are made in the Czech Republic. And the book sold out after 2 months only, and we did a reprint. So it was a great idea. The fun part is that the idea originated from the Masaryk University. When we were driving around the country with 40 librarians, people working in the libraries, bureaucrats in a sense, there was a like idea to do a book for librarians, how to design services and stuff. The actual book is not just for librarians; it's for almost anybody. But the idea originated from Masaryk University. And at the beginning of this year, there was another idea from the Masaryk University, which was the institute, as I will talk about it later, to establish a place where people from public services can come and learn about service design, its methods, and the customer experience as such. So again, the idea came from Masaryk University, and about a month ago I quit my job and I started working for Masaryk University, where we are doing this project. Now, there is a lot of inspiration for this. As you probably know, there is a special new department working for the British government, which is called Government Digital Service. It was established about 3 years ago, and it works towards providing a great user experience for British citizens online. It's a group of about 40 people right now, and they are like UX designers, they are graphic designers, they are data analysts. You can definitely find them when you Google Government Digital Service. They are awesome. I just learned that New Zealand was inspired by these guys and is doing something similar. What they did was they basically canceled all of the governmental pages and they created one simple page, which is for all of the departments, all of the services and everything. They did an enormous amount of user testing. They launched a beta a couple of years ago, and now they're like monitoring performance and everything. So this is a huge inspiration coming from England, as well as the other stuff on the slide. Here is a publication from 2004. Means like almost 10 years ago. They were kind of exploring the topic of how design can help to public services. In this particular study called Touching the State, it was all about how the voting system is designed and what experience does it bring to its citizens. In this report, which was published this year, is starting Britain #2. It's a review of these activities that were set by a report in 2010, and there is a number of other policies across the UK that defines the user standard for citizens. I mean, for the Czech environment, this is really sci-fi. I mean, they are 10 years ahead of us, but it's a great inspiration that we can tap into, and that Government Digital Service as well as Design Council, which published these 2 publications, are a huge inspiration for us for the work that we are just starting. Now, what we are starting, we call it Institute, just like that, because we are looking for a name right now. It's just 4 people, an office, and a vision. That's all we have. We have funding for about 18 months right now. And during that time, we want to establish an institution that will be something like those 2 combined, that will help people in public services, design services that are really user-centered and that are easy to use. Now, even before we started, we got our first client, which was a local NGO called League of Human Rights, and they are dealing for quite a long time right now with healthcare as such. So we took one of the topics from this, and this was the complaint handling in the healthcare systems, and we look at it from the user perspective. What we learned was that in the Czech Republic, the healthcare is really good as regards the professional approach from the doctors. But it's really limited when it comes to patient experience. We did in-depth interviews with patients, and we learned that they felt isolated, they felt like they didn't have enough information, they felt like nobody really cared about what they did or what they wanted. So we basically redesigned the process now it's more human-centered, and we will be publishing the first results in about, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. I don't have the tangible results right now because now it's being with proofreaders and we are trying to get a lot of feedback on it. But basically what this was for me, this first project that we did, was a signal that the public services here really need design thinking, that they need design methods, and they need to start thinking about citizens as if they were customers. Now, you may now wonder, why bother? Why am I presenting this at a social media bar camp, which may not really seem appropriate, but I think the opposite. I'm here for 3 major reasons. The first being, I would like to get your feedback on the idea, on how would you approach the problem, what would you recommend? The second thing is that we are planning to do a series of workshops for people from public services, including social media, including web design, including topics that are really close to what people are talking here about today. And I would like to invite you to, if you are interested, to deliver those workshops to the people in public sphere. The third part is that if you would be interested in participating in this project, I welcome any kind of help. As I said, we are 4 people only, trying to establish something that will be huge one time, and we welcome any help, anything. Now, it's just the last slide. Just 5 slides. That's the last slide. We are service designers. That means that we design customer journeys, and this presentation is just the first step in that journey. My friend David from the Institute designed another touch point, as we call it, another point through which you will interact with us. And this little card contains invitation to 2 other events that we will organize this autumn, as well as a link to today's presentation and one more surprise. So, if you guys would be interested, I have a couple of cards over here, and I will give them to you as a reminder of what I talked about today. And now I believe it's time to start the discussion, right?
Yeah. And thank you for your
Right. Yes, sure.
But I don't know, some people came during your presentation. Is here more people from public service or something than two of us? No?
Oh, there was a third, yes.
Okay.
And four people.
All right.
Four bureaucrats.
But they are working in Austria.
Nice.
Okay. So.
Okay, I'm not from public service, but I've been working for Master University as well.
Okay.
Just guess, I work at the office in some small city, and we want to enhance our services. So how should I approach you, or what should I do if I want to enhance our services?
That's a good question, and it's really tough to answer because I don't know what the problem is.
Okay.
My first guess would be: are you like, what's the problem? What's the problem? Do you measure the problem anyway? Like, do you have low citizen engagement, or what do you face? What's the problem? That would be the first question that I would have, and then I will give you this card. We'll talk later. Okay. I mean, it's not as easy as it may seem. I mean, I can say read my book, you know, and that's it. I don't think so. It doesn't work that way. It's just a couple of ideas over there, but we have to be really specific when it comes to specific services. What do you think is the biggest problems?
In here, in this country?
No. In the middle.
That was not something specific. I work for Institute of Computer Science, and I think lots of problems are with legal stuff in here, and some in politics between people and departments and stuff. So I just thought, what is the way? How do you want to change this public service?
I believe the design environment is different in commercial companies and it's different in the public sphere. And this is because it has a different structure when it comes to financing, and it has a different structure when it comes to people's thinking. Like there is a strong hierarchy, and you are valued by the years that you spend in a particular office, which simply doesn't work in the commercial companies. So there are some design constraints that you have to take into account. It's a lot of politics, it's a lot of relationships, it's difficulties with getting more finance. It's even difficult to get people on board when you're not a new idea, because the average age of people working in public services is much higher than like comparing them to startups. So yeah, that would be.
So in the end, you want to all these people from public services to know that if they have a problem or think that they have a problem, to come to you and that you will help them, or what is the purpose of the institute?
No, I want them to solve the problem themselves using design methods.
You just want to give them tools and knowledge, so they can do it themselves.
There is several 100,000 people working in public services. It would be quite a lot of work to get them to work.
Well, thanks.
Right, on that.
Is it more about tools for making services better, or is it rather a kind of PR to the decision makers to convince them to make something different?
That's a very interesting question. I have two answers to that. The first answer is that at the moment I see a group of public servants, of people working in the industry, and there's a very thin layer of people who can be engaged in those activities. In that regard, it's just PR and explaining the very simple ideas of customer experience. Customer experience is not a very difficult concept to comprehend. So it's a lot of PR, but on the other hand, I believe it's a bit more complicated than that. So yeah, we want to teach people how to teach others to use the methods. Does that answer your question?
Partly, yes. I was also thinking about the biggest problem is that sometimes people working for public services have good ideas, but the problem is to convince the bosses to implement these ideas.
Right. Yeah. For example, there is one thing that I learned on the project with the League of Human Rights. rights, and that was that we wrote the report from the customer perspective. And then we sent it to proprietors, and one of the best feedbacks that we got was it was too controversial in terms of, yes, it's written from the customer perspective, but you have to convince the service providers to change their mindset. And we were recommended to change it to like more that the report more corresponds with the needs of the service providers. In healthcare system, hospitals are ranked, and there is like a ranking system of the hospitals. That's like mantra. That's what they are focusing on, and that's how they judge themselves or benchmark themselves against the others. And we were recommended to try to bend the report towards showing the healthcare or hospital managers that they can, go up in the ranking system if they implement customer experience, which was something that we didn't really think of when we were writing down the report that is full of hospitals don't treat patients well. It doesn't work that well. So it's a very complicated stakeholder system in there because it's not measured by profit. It's measured by a couple of other things. So it's a bit more complex to navigate than just commercial environment. Right. Okay. No other questions. Czech public services are just excellent.
And you said that you just worked with League of Human Rights, or not Human Rights?
Yes, League of Human Rights, yes.
So what's your next, after it's been proofread and whatever,
We will
if you have already
Yeah.
started?
We will definitely publish it in a public domain, like for free.
No, I mean like, what's your next target?
What's
If
the
you
next
have
target?
one.
Yeah, I mean, if we end up with publication, it's not what we are aiming for. We want to change things in hospitals. So we will organize roundtables with patient ombudsmen that are in bigger hospitals, and we will try to convince them to apply some of the service design principles. And now we are talking to a number of other NGOs, public services, public people, and consultants to public sphere to start next projects. All the time we want to have at least one project going, because I see that the real project, the real work with people as a backbone of what we will be doing. We will do a lot of research and we will do a lot of workshops and stuff, but we need to really publish a lot of case studies and show people that change is possible. And there are good public services. It's not like that everything is really bad. There are some hospitals with excellent services. There are some great small services like the observatory here in Brno. They're working on services for the last 7 years. This is a great story too. So yeah, that's it. We don't want to stop just with writing up something. We will see about that. Right, so if there are no other questions, yeah, there is a...
Do you also plan to provide cost analysis? Because every change costs something, so if you
Sure.
recommend...
Sure. Yeah, one of the things that we want to do is that we will get paid for what we will provide. Because I believe that it will add value to our clients, so the clients will pay to us. Not all the time, and we will give big discounts because financing is kind of a problem, especially if it's not connected to the core business of the service. But yes, this is definitely, there even there should be not only a cost analysis, but also risk analysis, evaluating potential risks to the new design. And there should be definitely some kind of implementation plan. So yeah, cost analysis is one of the issues. Right, okay. If there are no further questions, we can leave it to the lobby. We can continue the discussion over there. There are the cards if you're interested, and I would be more than happy to talk to you if you want to get involved. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.